is Mr. Bogart here. Y'all caught me practicing just a little bit here at my church, and the instrument that you see me sitting at and playing on is called the pipe organ. I'm sitting at the main control center of the pipe organ, which we call the console. So today, we're going to learn a little bit about instruments and how they work and the materials that they use to make sound. The last couple weeks, if you saw Miss Crumb's videos, she's been working with everyone on rhythms. And then last week, she introduced the opportunity for you to find different kinds of instruments around your house. So today, what we're going to talk about is instruments like the pipe organ, how they work, what makes them create sound, and what kind of materials they use. So what you see here is a set of keyboards. They kind of look like the same keyboards you see on a piano, but on the organ, we have more than one. Here at this instrument at my church, you see that we have 3 keyboards for the hand and 1 large keyboard played by the feet. Watch, you can see how the feet get to have their own melody lines. See? No hands, just the feet. Now some of you might be asking or thinking to yourselves, Mr. Bogart, why does the organ have to have so many keyboards? And why do you even have to have a keyboard to play with your feet? Well, the answer to that question is that the organ is a very large and very complex instrument. It's kind of like having an entire orchestra being played by one person. So every keyboard has several different sets of pipes that are specific to that keyboard. So for example, I can set up one sound on the top keyboard, another sound on the middle keyboard, and a third sound on the bottom keyboard, and another one in the feet. Watch. So I can play a lot of different sounds at the same time, or at different times, and move quickly between those different sounds because they're already set up and ready to go. So these knobs that you see on the side are called stops. And stops turn sets of pipes on and off. But wait, Mr. Bogart, you might be saying, I don't see any pipes. Well, that's because what you see here and what I'm sitting at, again, it's called the console or the control center for the organ. It's only allowing a player to control the instrument, which is in a completely different room. And that room is called a pipe chamber. Boys and girls, chamber is just another kind of fancy word to say room. So think to yourself, pipe room, or as we call it, pipe chamber. Now inside that chamber are several different sets of pipes, and each set of pipes is different. Some of the sounds are very low, and a lot of the sounds in the pedal that you play with the feet are the low sounds. So sounds like this. Some of the pipes have very high sounds and very soft sounds, and I'll let you hear what some of those sound like. Some of the pipes, which we'll go and see in a few minutes, some of the pipes are made out of metal. Some of the pipes are made out of wood. Why might they be made out of different materials? It's probably because that we need several different kinds of sounds. So some pipes that are made out of metal are meant to sound like other instruments, like a trumpet. This stock turns on a set of pipes called a trumpet, and it's meant to sound like a trumpet in an orchestra. It's very loud and bright and kind of exciting. Let's hear what that sounds like. Another set of pipes might be made out of wood, and a lot of those pipes are meant to sound like other instruments in an orchestra, like flutes. So let's hear a set of pipes in the organ that are meant to sound like flutes, kind of soft and beautiful sounding. So at this point, boys and girls, here's a little bit of review. Where I'm sitting, this part of the pipe organ is called a console. The keyboards that I play are called manuals. The keyboard I play with my feet is called the pedal board, or the pedals. These knobs are called stops, and they control or turn on and off different sets of pipes that are inside the pipe chamber or the pipe room. So with that, boys and girls, let's end here and let's move into the pipe chamber so you can actually see how all the different sounds of this instrument are created. Let's go. All right, boys and girls, so we're in a different part of the building, and I've opened up the closet area so you can kind of come along with me and see how we actually have to get into the pipe chamber. It's kind of like going into our own secret room. So we go up this little stairwell in the closet, we open the door, and then it kind of might seem a little spooky. We have to go in this tiny room, go around the corner, and all this stuff. Not exactly a pretty room, but you can kind of see, you see some pipes, some lights on the wall, and if I hold my camera up, way up there, you can start to see all the different pipes in the organ. So give me just a minute, and I'm going to get us set up so you can actually see all of those pipes. Okay, warriors, here we are. We're inside the pipe chamber. I've climbed up the ladder to get to where all the pipes are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see all the different sets of pipes that are inside this room. Now, I'm only in one part of the organ. There are actually 3 different rooms in this instrument that are full of pipes, but I'm going to show you all the different things that are in just this one room. So here we go. Okay, boys and girls, I've changed positions and stand up so we can look around this pipe chamber a little bit. And you'll notice that I'm standing right in front of some really big metal pipes that go way up tall. And then there's some more pipes up high over there. And some more metal pipes going all the way up to that ceiling. And some more wood pipes in the back. These big pipes are the pipes that I play with my feet. These are pedal pipes. Oh wow, look at these big wood pipes here. They go all the way up to the ceiling. It's almost the size of a tree. Let's come back down. You can see they go all the way down. Let's keep looking around and get to some of the smaller pipes. It's kind of like an adventure story here, boys and girls. We're going to come around here and you can see several different sets of pipes. These are smaller pipes. Some are made of wood, some are made of metal, and you can see they're all lined up one in front of the other. I'm going to turn over here. You can see it's a little bit dark, but hopefully you can see some of the pipes have a cone on them and are cone shaped. If you remember when Mr. Bogart played that trumpet sound at the console, these cone-shaped pipes are the trumpets. All different kinds of pipes. So boys and girls, what I'm going to do is go back downstairs, but I'm going to take a couple of these pipes with me so you can get a closer look at them. Stay tuned. Alright warriors, we're back here at the console, and from the pipe chamber, I've brought with me 3 different pipes. Now, boys and girls, what I want you to pay attention to is the shape of the pipes as well as what material they're made out of. This first pipe, you'll notice, is made out of wood. And it has a square shape, but it has a very long tube. This long tube is called the resonator, and this is what allows air to come inside the pipe and then be amplified or get louder. That air comes up from the bottom, it vibrates back and forth right about here, and then this long tube called the resonator, it amplifies or makes that vibration louder. The second pipe, you'll notice, is made out of metal, and its shape is a little bit different. Its shape is kind of like an ice cream cone, and it has a round shape. This one's a little bit bent, but it's kind of a round shape at the top, an opening at the very top here. But what's different about this pipe, boys and girls, is that the bottom of the pipe comes off, and inside is a tiny little piece of metal called the reed. And that piece of metal, when air hits that piece of metal, it vibrates back and forth and back and forth. And that vibration, again, is amplified or made louder by this metal cone on top. So let's hear what this pipe sounds like. It's pretty loud. That's one of our trumpets. And the third pipe I brought up is a little metal pipe, and it sounds like this. It's a very soft little flute made out of metal. Some flutes are made out of wood, like the one I showed you. And it, again, has a round shape with a long tube. The air comes up from the bottom. And right about here in this opening, I hope you can see that little opening we call the mouth, that air vibrates and then is amplified or made louder in this top tube called the resonator. So for review, boys and girls, there are 2 main types of material that are used to construct pipes in a pipe organ: wood and metal. And that's true of a lot of different instruments. Let's think about our instruments in the orchestra. The violins, cellos, and basses. A lot of them, actually I think all of them, they're all made out of wood. But what about things like trumpets, or French horns, or trombones, or the tuba? All those instruments, they're made out of metal. So as you go around your house and look for different ways to make an instrument, or different ways to make sounds, or to find your own instruments, maybe look at things around the house that are made out of wood, or things that are made out of metal. So warriors, this week, as you find your instruments, what Miss Crum and I would really like is we'd like to hear about what kind of instruments you're finding around the house. What ways are you going to make music? Do you find things that are made out of metal or wood that make really good sounds that you like? How about things that are made out of plastic or glass? Now, a pipe organ doesn't use plastic or glass to make pipes, but that doesn't mean that those materials can't work. But how do they sound different? Does wood sound different than metal? Does metal sound different than glass? Does it sound different than plastic? We'd really like to hear what you come up with. Maybe you can share what kind of instruments or what kind of sound makers you find all around the house. And if you would like to, please share in the comments below this video or Miss Crumb's video. So, all right, this was the pipe organ. I hope you had a little bit of fun, and we'll see you next week. Love y'all. Bye.